Hello friends, welcome to another Dreary Wednesday. It's time for the drive home. So, remember how last time I said I didn't want to talk about politics because it's depressing? We're going to talk about politics, so let's get depressed. Mainly, I have a bit of a rant, and it has to do with the way this election is going and just what a massive clusterfuck it is. I've been hearing from all sides that regardless of our feelings or thoughts or otherwise, we need to vote for Hillary Clinton. Mainly because simply we can't have Trump as president. And while I can agree with the second part in that, we absolutely cannot have Trump as president because, good Lord, not only the fact that I have a familial grudge against that man, concerning he had some bad dealings with my grandfather, so my entire family has a bit of a personal thing against him. So I've got that, but it's a fucking joke, absolutely, completely. And they did a couple of interviews and psych evaluations with him, and the thing he's afraid of most, the thing that will ruffle his feathers every single time, and it's a pretty easy thing to do, is to point out what a loser he is. He cannot be seen as a loser. That's his main thing. So I don't know what's going to happen with this election when he loses, because, good Lord, if he wins. Anyways, that aside, back to my rant. So, my rant is this. Everybody's talking about how we have to vote for Hillary, and I don't think that's the case. I feel that if we do that, we just reinforce this horrible two-party system we've fallen into. And we don't need a two-party system. We shouldn't have a two-party system. We should have a multiple-party system. Now, mind you, the biggest issue here is because we have wonderful things like Citizens United and legalized bribery effectively. And it's a lot easier to legally bribe politicians when they only come from two parties. It gets really expensive if you have 6 or 7 parties you all have to bribe. So we need to reinforce multiple parties. So, my rant goes as thus. Vote for whoever the hell you want to vote for. As long as it's Trump. Seriously, you've lost something upstairs if you actually think he's a legit candidate for presidency. Put that aside. Don't vote Hillary because you feel you need to. Vote who you want to vote for. Let your voice be heard. If you think that we can go with Jill Stein, go with Jill Stein. If you think that we can go with, Mr. Fantastic or whatever down in Florida, whatever, sure, write his name in. I don't give a shit. If you think that we really need to reignite the fire and get Bernie Sanders out there, write in Bernie Sanders. I mean, and the problem is that nobody's going to fucking watch this. I got maybe 2, possibly 3 viewers, so nobody's going to watch this. So I can see what the hell I want. It's not going to change anything, but this is what I believe. I believe that we need to absolutely stop voting for shit. The leader of our country should not be the shiniest of 2 turds. We need to vote who we agree with, and if that hurts somebody else's chances, well, tough luck. Maybe we deserve a Trump presidency. I mean, honestly, if that's what it comes down to it, if he wins because of my idea, because our voices are heard and third-party candidates actually get a decent percentage of the vote, then so be it. The idiots won, and our country's going in the shitter. If our voices are heard and we get a lot of third-party votes in there and Hillary still wins, okay, great. At least we don't have Trump, but now people have something to look forward to. They have the idea that a third party can get somewhere. So when you get your ballots, if you got them in the mail like I already have, because our county just does mail-in ballots, or when you go to your voting booth, vote for what you really believe in. Don't vote because you feel you have to. I mean, vote in general because you have to. You are an American citizen. That is part of your requirement for being in this country. If you don't vote, you're giving up your chance to be heard. You're giving up your chance to change anything. And that's not what this country is about. Voter apathy is so strong in this country that it's ridiculous. We have what are reported as free and fair elections, and we just piss them away. I mean, we've got, when Iraq finally had, their own democratic election, they had a voter turnout of like 80%. Holy crap, if we had a voter turnout like that, that would be freaking amazing. And on top of that, we've got, millennials are one of the strongest progressive blocs out there. So if they made sure that they got voted out there, hell, if all the millennials went out there and voted with who they believe in, we'd have third parties with really strong percentage points. Maybe not winning ones, but enough to send a message, enough to tell people that two parties is not going to cut it. We're not going to get stuck in this establishment. We're not going to get frozen. And we shouldn't. I mean, this is with as many things that have their thumb on us. When you've got lobbyists and you've got special interest groups and you have fund money and super PACs and all this other stuff that ignore us and just do what corporations and other such things want done because, hey, you know what? If a candidate needs, suddenly get $2-3 million for, election campaign, they're not going to get it from us. We can't afford that, but they can get it in a heartbeat from a special interest group or OPEC or anything like that. Well, maybe not specifically OPEC because foreign money is not supposed to be used in our election. However, that didn't stop Trump from trying to get some, which was also funny, especially when they're like, oh, it was just accidentally on our mailing list. We didn't mean to send them a request for financing. But, yeah, sure, I bet. Yeah, you're totally not Putin's best friend. Anyways, that's my last word on that. After this, no more politics unless it's super important, and this is the most important. So, get out there, vote what you believe in, make yourself heard, or you'll lose everything in the end. It's going to be a long game. It might not do us any good in this particular election, but you have to keep at it. Otherwise, in the end, we lose, and this country's gone. And I don't want to see that happen. I mean, moving to Norway sounds kind of fun, but that's a lot of fucking work, and I don't want to do it. I'd rather just stay here. So do that, and I'll see you at home.